I'd like to call the Planning Commission meeting this evening to order. We are at a special time and a special location here at the Community Center, so I do thank everyone for attending. All members are present. We do have established quorum. If you're
Could you speak up, please?
Of course, I'm used to not anyone being in the audience, to be honest. So. All right, I think, okay. This picks up on a PA, obviously inside, not just on the TV, so that should help. Thank you all for attending this special evening meeting of the Planning Commission. Today we're going to focus this on one topic in particular, and that's how it pertains to the rezoning request in the Northeast State Street neighborhood, or Lower East Side, or Grandview Highlands, whatever you want to call the neighborhood. We have, like I said, established quorum. All members are present. If you're planning at speaking at today's meeting, I do have to administer an oath. You can remain seated. You just need to say "I do" when I'm completed the oath. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth to this commission? Please say "I do." All right. Thank you. There is a sign-in at the door there on your way in. If you hadn't signed in, I do ask that you sign in if you are planning to speak. If you're planning to go under the radar and not speaking, you probably can get away without signing in. So, we have, like I said, one topic today. There are no cases, so we're going straight forward to the communications, and that is the rezoning request for Northeast State Street. This is a public forum. What John Paskey and Paul Logue, the Director of Development or Code Enforcement, as well as the City Planner, has prepared a number of maps that show the existing condition of the neighborhood, as well as what was proposed in the citizen rezoning request. There's also just a map that's showing the area. The area in question right now is basically the South Street would be considered East State Street, the North parallel streets Jacobs, and it's pretty much all the neighborhood blocks in between there from, I believe, Strathmore to Townsend, or Utah to Townsend. What I would like to do, and Mayor suggested this, and I think this is a great idea, is we're going to take like a 5 to 10 minute quick sort of recess so people can take a look at the maps in a much larger scale than what maybe they've seen before. Some of this is also provided in the packets that Paulo made available. So take a moment to look at it, and then we'll get sort of underway with the public forum. Thank you. Everyone had an opportunity to review the maps, and it sounds like most everyone is up with what is being proposed in the area by the citizens' request. It's mostly in a mix in R2 zone right now, which allows single-family residences as well as two-family dwellings, so it would be considered duplex. The sort of north section of the area that we're discussing is zoned R2. The south area, the section under discussion, is zoned B3 currently. The new proposal shrinks the area of R2 to sort of a thin band in the middle of the neighborhood. If you look on the packet, I've got my packet all out of order, so I don't know if the number pages would help.
Oh, that would be too clever.
This packet that I've created doesn't show any proposal.
Okay.
Okay. You have your older packet, though.
Yeah,
I think that's what he's working on.
Yeah. Is the big drawing out there, that references the proposal, though, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, if you could, I'm sorry. Thanks, Paul. Okay, so the proposed rezoning would condense the area of R2 to a band in the center. Would be bounded by R1 and B3 as well, but now I can't remember what the distance is. This is in this packet here. I'm going to turn off the microphone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can hold it in the meantime.
That sucks.
Okay, there's this one that was in the packet existing right here.
Yeah.
Oh, you looking at the actual boundaries?
Yeah. I don't have a proposal with me.
Well, okay, this is the proposal right here.
Yeah, but you have any numbers?
Oh, lots, you mean?
Yeah. We have Exhibit A here, which lists the existing condition in the space, but what I'm looking for is the condition of what the proposed change would do to the lots. Currently, there are 113 residential structures in the R2 zone, and only 9 of the R2 zone is currently used as two-family residences. Of the 113 resident structures in the existing R2 zone, only 104 or 92% are currently being used as single-family. So only 8% are R2. The rest, I assume, the other lots are either vacant. Of the 104 single-family dwelling units, 73 or 74% owner-occupied. That's a good point. But what I'm looking for is the number that's reduced. So we can count it. Hold on.
You're talking about the remaining R2s.
All right. Thanks for being patient, everyone. It would reduce the number of R2 from 113 to approximately 30 lots. So a pretty large reduction of the R2. In our previous commission meetings, we've discussed the R2 and how it pertains to the rest of the city of Athens. There are very few R2 zoned areas left, which would suggest that the direction that the city is heading is toward only a single-family housing or multi-family housing. It would basically mean duplexes could only be built in a multi-family zone. So 2, 3, 4 would not exist in 1 or 2. And that's what the R2 does. It only provides for duplexes and single-family housing. The B3 in the proposed zoning change request stays more or less the same. There is a slight increase over on Graham and Charles Drive, it looks like.
Oh, wait a second. Are you B3s?
B3s.
Okay, here's a map that they, Paul Oak did a while back. You actually have some loss of B3 to R2. That'd be this area here, according to his proposal.
All right.
And the total darkwood, I guess, would be R2 to B3, so that would be this area here, if I'm reading it correctly.
Thanks. Here's the B3 now. Yeah, so we
Yeah,
go down more
so
to
there's a
R2.
reduction in there.
Right. All right, so I'm sorry. B3 again would also be reduced as well. So it's mostly a big enlargement of the R1 zone in this area. That is a brief and very poor summary, so I do apologize for that. But again, most of you sound like you are in the know with what's going on in the area. At this point, I will leave it open to comments from those in the audience. We have a podium set up. There's also a microphone here that I'm holding, but if you want to hear what I'm saying, I apparently need to hold this. So do ask that if you step to the podium. We have a sign-in sheet. If someone could grab it, we can just read from those names.
Again, there's nothing that says we have to go with the total changes.
I'm Jeff Dill. I live at 31 Graham, and I guess I'll speak first because it was our group that initiated the proposal, and I just wanted to clarify what our intent was. You've given all the numbers, And our intent was not to rezone any existing business lot to anything. Oh, it's not turned on, is it? I'm
It's on.
Was it?
talk real loud.
Well,
It's not on. Yeah, okay. All right. Our intent wasn't to take any existing business lot and try to rezone it, or to take any existing duplex structure and rezone it, but to recognize the fact that most of the lots there are already built as single-family residences anyway. And so, like you said, there are 113 residential structures, and only 9 of them are currently duplex. And we just sort of wanted to recognize that and put that into the zoning code. And if any particular property owner wants to keep his property zoned R2 for some reason, I don't object to that. I've talked to Mitch about his business properties that he wants to remain zone business. I certainly support that. But I suspect most of the owners of single-family homes in this area would want them to be rezoned to R1. But if they don't, I don't object to whatever they want. But we just want to recognize what is in fact already there, and also to comply with the comprehensive plan, which designates this as a single-family owner-occupied neighborhood conservation area. Okay, so that's all I have to say really.
Thank you, Jeff.
I would like to say something. I think I can talk loud. I don't know.
Oh, I think for the cameras here, we're recording.
You don't have to be on camera, but I'll give you this microphone.
I am shocked to see all the business
Oh, sorry.
going way up in the neighborhood. What kind of zoning is that? Well, thank you. I don't understand this zoning at all. I think we should be trying to preserve neighborhoods. I mean, I'm so happy. When we bought our house in 1950, I'm really old, why there was no sidewalk to the street, but fields across from us, fields behind us, and everywhere. We thought we were living in the country. We were thrilled. Well, then, of course, Elma Jones turned into a residential neighborhood. And that's all right. I like it. But we now have 2 1-year-olds on our street and a 6-year-old. And I love neighborhoods. That's why we stayed here. And the house we bought in 1950 was the only house we could afford when our 3rd baby in 4 years arrived. And so Carl was teaching at Cornell that summer, so we were in a hurry to buy a house. That was the only one we could afford. And we loved it. We didn't plan to stay like so many people who move to Athens. Carl got a job at the university. We didn't expect to stay, but honestly, it's such a great place to live. I love the trees. I love the hill. And I hate to see all that destroyed. I don't see any effort made to preserve neighborhood. It seems to me like they're trying to take it away. Now, Bob Evans is nice. I love the high garage across from us. They landscaped it. It was nice. And now, when I walk out of my house at night, I feel like I'm in a carnival. I like Applebee's. It's a great place to eat. But now I wonder why we haven't learned from Nelsonville and Lancaster. Look, they got rid of their strip malls by building bypasses. But we haven't learned we're going to have another strip mall along East State Street. I don't think it makes much sense to me. Of course, we've had, anyway, well, that's what I want to say. I'd like to see the neighborhood preserved, so I'd like to see more residential areas.
Thank you. Yes?
Well, that was such an excellent wave. I'd like to ride that wave.
Okay.
Can't just hold that.
Yeah, you can hold it if it's
Okay.
easier.
Well,
I
okay,
like
part of the thing, we're trying to catch you on the cameras, okay?
Okay,
That's the
all
intent.
right. Yeah.
This is being recorded. Realize this will go over government TV,
You know,
so
I'm podium
people...
averse here. I'm Kevin Gillespie, 29 Grand Park Boulevard, and me too, all of that. You know, I've lived in the West End, owned a house in the West End, worked on, rehabbed a house, single family house, lived on Sunnyside on the the Near East Side, and now for 10 years lived in the, I guess what we're calling the Far East Side now. In the Far East I live now. And the thing about Athens that's so great is the neighborhoodness of it. And it's like a city for me. This is my own testimony as a neighbor, you know. I'll get to the rookie developer part of it in a second here. But it is the neighborhood of it. But the thing about Athens, it's not just the hills and the trees. It's, I'm going to use a loaded word here because this is exactly what I mean. It's the diversity. It's lots of different people working and living in close proximity. I don't like the bright lights either. I don't like Walmart. I don't even like Applebee's or any of that kind of stuff. But I do like living in a city where, in every neighborhood I lived in, West End, I get my Near East and my Far East, Sunnyside and Grand Park, you're living in close proximity. On Sunnyside, I had a duplex right next door with all different kinds of people who moved in and out. Some I still know. One in particular I still know. And it's just different kinds of people and businesses in close proximity. I can completely understand the concerns about how that's managed and the planning about that. And yet, for me, it's the combination of the hills and the trees and the rural life and the city life and the diversity of city life. For me, that's the charm of Athens. And, you know, I see faces in the crowd here. Some have helped me with a ride on a rainy day when my umbrella wasn't working. And we've got the background of all this stuff going on. But the thing that I'm concerned about is the R2 thing and the fact that we're in the biggest housing collapse since the Great Depression. And it's not clear that families are, well, so two things. It's not clear that families of the middle class, not the students, that's a different planning challenge for people who live in Athens, but for working class people who are going to have to live in duplexes and rented units and rented houses for that matter. And it's just not as clear as it once was that everything is expanding and everybody's going to live, you know, like Leave It to Beaver in a single house in a neighborhood. There are all kinds of families in Athens, in the city of Athens. And I don't object to the plans. I really don't. I think in some ways you could make a strong case for those plans and it would be a good plan. But I worry about the people. And then finally, I would be being less than direct. So that's my thing. It's like just everybody else here. As a neighbor and a citizen of Athens, I love living here. And I too, I'm not a faculty person, but I too got kind of drawn into it, and one thing led to another, and all of a sudden, this is my home, this is where I'm going to be buried, this is my place here. Just exactly the same story. But then the final thing, I am a rookie developer of housing for people who with disabilities and for people who really have no place else to live. I mean, it really is that simple. And where are they going to live? Well, I think, this is just my opinion, I'm not a professional planner, I'm a rookie developer. I think the best for people and families to live is in integrated neighborhoods with a diversity of all kinds of activities that the rich life in a small city brings. And that's just the way I personally, as a neighbor and as a citizen of Athens, that's the way I look at it. And I think that the planning is not, like for instance, the land that sits at the back of our neighborhood that's with the vacant houses, the single houses, it's R1 right now, it's zoned R1. what's going to happen to that? You know, that's a good question for a planner. What's going to happen to that piece of land? For me, it's probably, in people living with each other and making community, it's probably not as easy as just drawing lines. You know, there's a lot to be thought about, and I would definitely support the careful thinking and planning of the commission of the welfare of the whole city in deciding how we build healthy, safe, and productive, from the point of view of business, neighborhoods. Sorry for the preachiness, but
You're standing at a podium. It's not your fault.
yeah.
Anyone else? Any other public comments? You do. If you could go to the podium, please.
I'm Mitch Emnick. I own some property across the road. I'm not a professional speaker, as you can tell, but you have to be careful about commercial property because it is East State Street, and there's a lot of traffic down it. And I have several lots that look like they might be in danger of going to like R2 or R3, so I'm just worried about it. One of the problems of rezoning is you have to, if my property gets rezoned, I would have to maintain the same building. I can't like knock it down and build something else. So you get stuck with the same old building for forever, or it goes to like residential. So that's all.
Anyone else?
I'm encouraging anybody to speak because this is our public forum. I mean, there will not be any action taken tonight, but we'd like to hear as much as we can from as many people as we can as we continue to look into this. And Nicholas can speak to the process, you know, in terms of the Planning Commission recommends to council, and then you go through the whole public hearing, you know, public forum process again. So, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
I don't have a lot to say, but I have a little bit of a concern with the direction and of the commission itself, the planning commission itself. I attended the last meeting that you had uptown, and something came up that rather bothered me.
Oh, can you speak close to the mic?
Oh,
Can't hear.
okay, I'll start over again. My name's Dwayne Bump. I live on Utah Place. And the reason I came forward is that I have a concern about the way that the commission is thinking in terms of East State Street. At the last meeting I attended, your chairman, Nicholas, I'm sorry, Nicholas, I do not know your last name.
Oh, it's Bittner.
Made a proposal that really kind of shocked me. He thought it might be a smart thing to take commercial Utah and Strathmore, the street side right there by East State Street. And I'm thinking, is this the way that the commission is thinking about East State Street, maintaining our zoning down there for the neighborhood? Are they thinking, how far are they going to take this commercial thing? Anyway, particularly when you have a bottleneck of traffic down there coming in off of the bypass, you have to restrict turning onto the neighborhood anyway, and yet you want to propose businesses that would take people through the residential area in order to get to them because of the traffic situation. So my concern is, what is going through the mind of the commission when such a proposal comes about? And I'd like to have somebody there speak about that for me, if you would. Thank you.
since it was a proposal put forward by the chairman, I guess I'll take up that question. I was not looking at it from the existing traffic pattern, and I was not looking at it from the existing lots being residential. I was looking at it at future use. Future use, yes, the traffic pattern would have to change in order for businesses to work in that area. Even if it was rezoned business now, neither the owners of the current lots right now, or if they were sold to someone who were to develop them, would develop them with the traffic pattern as it is currently. So that would have to change. The other reason I would do that is, I mean, right now it's a grid that's incomplete. You can't turn from the left onto those roadways, so, more or less you have to, the residents that lives here that's coming off 33 has to basically drive past their house, go around the block if they want to actually go to their house. So, I mean, it's not a good practice right now either. It's not a great place for residential if it's right by the overpass and on-pass. So again, it's a future use proposal. And without taking a further look, I mean, it's nothing but that.
What do you mean it's not a good place for residential? What does that mean?
What does that mean, anyway?
If there's residents living there now, they're perfectly happy. What does that mean it's not a good place for residential?
Well, no one seems to want to buy the house that's for sale right there.
Well, but that could be based on a lot of things, not necessarily whatever you're showing.
Exactly.
If I may, it was the planner provided the planning commission. He did some research just on a few, but that was where it was determined that there are deed restrictions for that area. So that's been removed from consideration. A second, more long-term issue that I want to have everybody keep on the radar and be informed is that ODOT is looking at an interchange study because of the insane weaving to get from Stimson on to State. You all know what I'm talking about. So we're looking comprehensively, and they're gonna convene another meeting here in the first of the year, and they're actually talking about breaking it out into 3 projects. But that's going to be a whole nother look at how we get from one side of town over to State Street. But there's indeed, we're quite aware there's traffic challenges there.
Is there a time frame for that?
It's 20, do you remember, Paul? Is it 2015 or?
2015 probably the earliest. It's all.
Then it's rather premature to scare us about the change on Strathmore and Utah.
That's been removed from consideration.
Yeah.
I thought might be due to the deed research. I wasn't addressing, I was just, there were 2 separate things, I guess I was addressing.
Yeah, I mean, I do apologize for not being clear on that. I mean, that was a proposal just for discussion by the commission. It wasn't, it was something to be taken a look at how we were looking at this zoning request. It was not the zoning request change by any means. It was just something for discussion. I mean, I think right now we're just discussing the zoning request by the citizens. Is that correct or not correct?
Is it appropriate just to ask a question?
You know, it's a terrible setting, that word right now. It's actually not great for just quickly back and forth questions. I mean, you can come to the podium, but it's just, it's the only way we can make it work. Yeah, thank you.
My name is Mike Moulton. I live on Graham Drive. Just a couple comments I wanted to make about some of the discussion here. First of all, my wife and I and our 4 children moved in, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago on Graham Drive. And we're having some discussion about traffic patterns and neighborhood development and the type of neighborhood we live in. I'd like to make a couple comments about that. First of all, I was born and raised in California, San Francisco, and I've lived in a few big cities, including Southern California and Montreal and Salt Lake City, some other places. And I've lived in places where massive development happened in a short period of time, and I've seen some of the dynamics that can happen with neighborhoods and real estate and commercial properties and whatnot. And we live in a neighborhood right now that is a nice neighborhood, and there's a lot of development going on East State Street. And as you go up and down East State Street here, you'll see more and more development happening, or appears to be preparation for more development. And the traffic just is going to continue to increase on in that area. And so if you bring more businesses onto that side of State Street and start creeping into that neighborhood with more businesses, it's going to continue to congest not only the neighborhood, not only compromise the safety of the neighborhood, but also congest East 8th Street. Anybody knows me, I'm a free market guy, I'm a capitalist, I like the free markets. I am absolutely not anti-development, but I do believe there should be, smart development and appropriate development in the appropriate areas. Kevin made a comment of, we live in a city with close quarters. Having grown up in San Francisco, I don't think of this as a city by any means, nor do I think of it as close quarters. This is a nice Midwest town, and the reason my wife and I chose this neighborhood as opposed to the Near East Side neighborhood is because of the more spread out lots and whatnot, and it seemed like a little more of a safer neighborhood feel to be able to walk around and whatnot. Now, about the traffic patterns, when we first moved here just a few years ago, when I'd get off, I drive, today I drove 380 miles in sales. I drive a lot in my car. And when I come home at the end of the day, I like to be able to get home. And when I first moved here, I would get off the highway and turn left onto Graham Drive. Mm-hmm. Now I'm no longer allowed to do that, which is understandable. Why? For safety reasons. But that has to do with the development that came along right here with the hotels and the restaurants and things coming in. Suddenly that compromised the safety and ability for me and anybody else on my street to turn left onto Graham Drive. So I now have to turn left on Strathmore, or I have to go past it and turn left onto Charles. So a couple things that's happened now. Now that I can't turn on left on my street, Graham Drive, nor can anybody else who lives on Graham, so they turn left on Strathmore. So suddenly the poor folks who live on Strathmore are now dealing with all the traffic from a couple of streets over, and it's increased their traffic also. And then, there was some comment, I forget who made the comment about being able to turn left and having to go back around and come back down onto Utah or Strathmore. I don't want to disparage any businesses, but there are some businesses in our neighborhood right on our street that they deliver and whatnot, and they come bombing around the corner because of the traffic patterns right now. I've a couple times called the Athens City Police and asked them to police those intersections. To no avail. I haven't seen any results, but we do see a few businesses, and you guys probably all know exactly who I'm talking about. They peel their wheels on their trucks as they go around the corner, and that will only get worse if the traffic continues to get worse. So there are some real safety considerations. There's certainly real estate home value considerations. Mm-hmm. There's living standards, considerations, some other things. So anyway, I just want to share that with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Other comments?
My name is Karen Bump. I live on Utah Place, and my husband Dwayne and I have lived down in that area for 50 years. So we feel like this is our neighborhood. We love it. Please think about the children. There are so many children that live in that neighborhood. And a lot of them have to cross the street to go to the pool, to go to the playground. And it's a scary thing. It really is. The cars go so fast down East State Street. They run through the red lights. I can tell you, I have almost been killed several times because of that. Actually, I came to you one time, I believe, and said, you need to get down here. You need to find out what's going on this street. And the blitzing through the lights is unbelievable. They need to put some kind of cameras up and do something about that before somebody is hurt. And the older people trying to cross the street, I mean, I'm one of them, to go to CVS all the time, and you just feel like, I don't know if I can get across the street. But anyway, think about the children. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
This is nerve-wracking because, it is your property, it is your home. You do have an emotional investment in all this. My name is Betty Sexton. I live on 17 Graham Drive, and I think my husband and I and our neighbors, the Squibbs, were on the original petition to take a look at the rezoning here.
Okay.
And we were mostly motivated by the change that happened on our street, where a single-family home was torn down and replaced by a parking lot and apartment building, or is being built. We were unaware that this could happen in our residential neighborhood. So we wanted to be proactive in forming and opening a discussion with our neighbors as to what can happen to their streets. So we found out that zoning codes are not black and white, and you're not necessarily protected because variances can be given. So we believe it's important to imagine how we want our far east side neighborhood to develop in the future, keeping in mind population density, street parking, and traffic flow. So I think it's important to be proactive, talk about it, think about it, picture what the future of the neighborhood is going to look like.
Thank you. Other comments? All right, I will give you what we can do as a commission is, we can vote on any of these things up or down, but what we do when we vote is it's just a recommendation to the city council. The city council would then hold a series of public hearings. I believe they have to read it 3 times before voting on a zoning change, and then they can also vote that down. The most recent zoning change that was recommended by the Planning Commission was we had recommended that the, I guess it would be the end of the end of North Core Street be rezoned as B2D. Currently it is B3. This is where courtside, artifacts, import house, the BP station, all that would be rezoned B2D from the B3. It was something that the comprehensive plan had also recommended, so the Plan Commission was mostly doing due diligence. It was voted down by City Council. So even if we were to approve this zoning change or make other changes, by all means, it doesn't mean that City Council will agree to it. And even if the comprehensive plan recommends that this neighborhood should be preserved to the most ability that we can as a planning commission, it's still, even if the planning commission makes that, agrees with that, we're sort of powerless when it comes to zoning changes. We can make the recommendations, and City Council does give us a good listen and due diligence, but it doesn't guarantee anything. So what we would do, though, is, sorry. Yeah. Is there anything else, Paul, that you think I should add to that? Yeah. It's pretty much the procedure. Is there any other comments, though?
I hate to say it, but I think I do have one more.
Well, just what? Of course, this gentleman's coming afterwards, if you can. Thank you. right, so if that's,
I do have an announcement. Are you doing that?
well, concerning the communications or?
About the AEP meeting tomorrow night here at 7 p.m. Actually, I'm not sure which one of these rooms, to talk about tree trimming and debris removal. They're going to be here. We've encouraged them to have their subcontractor here. Got some best practices to talk about.
So you have tree issues.
And who doesn't? Thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, if that's the case, then we'll close the public forum section of our meeting. I do appreciate all the comments that we received, and I'm glad that everyone is very passionate about it. And I do apologize if the proposal offended anyone. It wasn't meant to be that way. It was mostly just for discussion. So, again, thank you. We have reports from the City Planner and Director of Development Code Enforcement. Do you guys have anything for today? Okay.
Sorry.
Is this on?
It is.
Just as an announcement for the Planning Commission and anybody interested, the Athens County Hazard Mitigation Committee, we had our quarterly meeting last evening. We've been working on a draft for a multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan that's required at the state level. That draft was submitted to the committee last evening. There are copies available on the city's website on the front page in the bottom right-hand corner. The Regional Planning Commission is accepting public comments until December 15th on that plan, so if anybody would like to review that, please do.
Thank you.
All 170 pages. Thank you.
2 megabytes.
Yeah.
I expect that you'll provide the summary of the next meeting.
We will.
Okay. John?
I brought a book up here, so no. Last night we had the BZA meeting. We had 3 cases on the agenda. First one was at 145 East State Street for a construction of a fence in the front yard setback. That case was approved 4-1. After that, 498 Richland Avenue was a request for a Chinese restaurant that needed variance for parking. They did come to an agreement, 5-0 approval on allowing the use for this restaurant, provided they can obtain leased parking spaces at a business across the street for the remaining spaces they needed. And then the third one is at 25 Campbell Street. Jackie O's requested a variance to put a brewery bottling company making beer there, and that variance was approved 5-0. It was within 100 feet of an R zone by 70 feet.
70 feet, yeah.
Passed unanimously. So that is it.
So all those passed unanimously?
No, the
fence
first one was 4-1.
4-1.
The fence was.
And the other one's conditional, the parking.
Conditional.
Okay. Are you responsible for the condition, or does that go back to the BZA?
They have to bring proof of the lease and
Okay. Any questions for the planner or director? Thank you both. Any items not covered on the agenda anyone would like to address? All right, thank you. I would like to have the disposition of the minutes from the previous meeting now, and everyone will get an opportunity to review those beforehand, before tonight's meeting, or at tonight's meeting.
I'll
second that.
I know. I am not sure I'm comfortable, and perhaps this is how it was stated, with under the
I can't even find mine.
Don Lindner Altamont Drive UE lot split and the italicized portion. The commission members discussed the road access and semicolon, the city has an easement to access this area. I don't know that that was how it was worded. We required a secondary, emergency access.
Page 1, I think.
It may not be a major issue. I'm just uncomfortable with that language. So I guess I need to either rewatch
it's
it
in
or.
italics.
Are you on page 2 or page 1?
Okay, page 2 at the top in the italicized section.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's there.
Recommend a split of parcel. That's just a split. We did do that.
Yeah, but then it says the commission members discuss the road access. The city has an easement. I don't even understand why that's in that section.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I don't think that was part of the motion.
No. Let's just, I suggest that be just stricken entirely. I don't even see where you would put it in.
I guess I must say, we did discuss the road access, but I don't know that
Not
that
as a
statement.
motion.
Correct, okay, I
Right.
see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying, so just even remove it
Okay.
in general. I don't,
I see what
because it was discussed, if you go to emergency access road repair is already in the coverage. All right, so with the correction to strike any item to the motion to recommend the split of clubhouse parcel 7B, the minutes have been firsted. Do you want to second them again?
I'll second them again.
All right, all those in favor of approving the minutes as amended?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, announcements and other business. Our next meeting is back on Wednesday afternoon on December the 7th back in the city building at 12. So hope everyone is all welcome to attend those meetings as well. Any other announcements? All right, thanks everyone for coming to this forum. We are adjourned.